Brandon.
And this is Taylor.
With All My Sons Self-Defense. We're going to put out a video today talking about gun culture here in San Antonio, also throughout the U.S. We're going to talk a little bit about the good, the bad, the ugly, good points, bad points, solutions, things that we can come up with as a community to help everybody.
So before we get started, please like this video, comment, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to visit our website, allmysonsselfdefense.training, as well as following us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, all of it.
All right. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So Taylor, what are some negatives as far as gun culture that you see?
Well, right now, keeping it current, I mean, I will say that it is a hot season for guns in terms of what's about to happen in November. The election's about to happen.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of brings up some of these hot topic issues. So you'll hear it. I think people are hearing it a lot in the news. So some negative things, obviously, I mean, the obvious ones, right? It's a deadly weapon. It can kill someone if used incorrectly. And, I think there's a big lack. There's a big educational gap. There is just a deficit of knowledge, a lot of ignorance surrounding what it looks like in terms of gun rights and the importance of using a tool to, protect yourself.
So as far as on the women's side of things, what would you say negative wise?
So I mean, obviously it's very important. Women can be targets. I think that it's pretty obvious that women can be targets of violence in general, right? So it's important to have some knowledge and some training to have that equalizer just for protection. That's what comes to my mind. I think a woman and I think protection. That's what comes to my mind. So just a quick story. I mean, when I was a younger woman back in college, it was something that, I was just living life and doing my thing as a young person, not really thinking about any education, any training, not even thinking about a weapon at all, just being out and running around by myself. And it did happen where my car got broken into and it could have been a lot worse. Things can be replaced, but what if it's your life, Just going to the gym, going for a walk by yourself as a woman. That's what I think about when I think about gun culture. I think that, people can play on the emotions of women in the news media, etc., to make it seem like guns are scary, they're bad. And it's something that's where we come in, that's to educate people on the other side of things.
Yeah, awesome. That's a good point. And then also to touch on the women's side of things as well. On the negative would be just some of the crime and stuff that's going on. We have criminals that's out there they have them illegally and they're looking to hurt you. So you want to arm yourself the best way possible, to be able to combat, the criminals. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say on the women's side of things. And it's a lot more we can expound on and talk about. But I don't know. I think for the most part, what do you think, T?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
So on the man side of things, me being born and raised here in San Antonio, Texas, I initially when I got into firearms or guns, right, it was a negative side. So I seen it from family members, things of that nature, or just the gang culture around that time in the earlier 90s and things of that nature. Grew up around a neighborhood where it was always drive-by shootings for the most part, or seen or heard, those kind of things going on. Have had family members, had those things done to them, and is even been some bodies in my neighborhood, that I grew up in. So, then you throw in music and all kind of other different things. Like I said, of course, gang culture, and that adds to all of the pressure with being a young man, especially a young black man growing up, and you're trying to learn about these things. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've seen on the man side of things, as well as, you have guys who are a little too machismo, if you want to say that. It's, puffed up in their pride, and they kind of want to exert that energy on the other people, you know what I mean? And it's negative, and it shouldn't be that way. They need a little bit more training, or they need
like the skill set.
Not necessarily skill set, but more so like just being calm about a situation, to be able to
Okay.
walk
Yeah.
away from a situation. They need more training
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah. Like de-escalation.
De-escalation. There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's what I would say as far as the man side of things, and
I would say we've seen that in our students.
yeah,
There is a difference between our female students and our male students. A lot of our clients are, men will come initially thinking, I already know this. I don't really need you, but I just need my license. So let's just move this along. I'm good. We're good.
yeah,
And then when they come to us, we find that may not necessarily be the case, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, we see that all the time.
And women, on the other hand, seem to be a little more eager to actually learn and admit that, okay, I don't know anything, or I do know something, but it's been a long time, or can you help me? And they're just very eager to learn.
Yeah.
And this isn't trying to knock on men. It's just what we've seen,
Yeah.
with our students. And I just find that kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The difference in culture between the sexes.
Yeah. And then also to add a negative or another negative on the women's side of things, we have had, or I have been in talks with women, who I would say want to, are eager to shoot somebody, so we try to combat that frame of thinking because you don't want to look at every single person as a threat, if that makes sense. You do want to be safe and fill the room out and know your surroundings and things of that nature, but you don't want to feel like you're just threatened all the time and you need to pull something out to hurt somebody or take somebody's life and things of that nature. So we do have some women where we kind of talk about these things in class and tone it down.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Again, I mean, we teach defensive shooting, defensive being the key word there.
Yeah.
And so, what about youth? Talk a little bit about.
As far as youth, it's getting crazy with the youth right now. I pray heavily for the youth and hope that the youth can wake up. We have situations even that's going on here in our city where guns have been brought to school and things of that nature. So we want to shift that. We want to be able to reach out to the youth and tell the youth, hey, it's another way. If you do this, and this can happen to you. We want them to understand that it's serious consequences when you use a firearm. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand part of me knows how they got them. Most of them are illegal, but then on the legal side of things, it's like, with the parents, they have to use better discretion as far as dealing with their children and firearms. But, music, video games, movies, all of those different things kind of spill into the youth.
And we see headlines a lot about, like a school shooting or a child brought a gun to school and they found it before anything bad happened. Yeah. We see that all the time. I can't even name how many. The school year just started a month ago, and it's already been in the news several times. With that big one happening in Georgia.
Yeah.
And so, that's something we talk. We are very serious about educating the youth.
Yeah.
We've had families, come to us to want to train their teens, and I encourage everybody to do that because, it's our responsibility. It starts with us. Yeah. And we can't be a good, responsible gun owner if we don't teach that to our children. So it's a reflection, it's a reflection on the parents. And so it's for everybody. It really is.
And then also to add to that, what Taylor's talking about, at least, it is in different states of that nature, but for sure here in Texas could be your best friend or your worst enemy. I say that in every class, meaning if you break a law in Texas, then they will throw the hammer at you. But if you obey the laws and abide by them, they can play in your favor. But as far as dealing with minors and things of that nature with firearms, Texas is very serious about that. And they take that very seriously about how you store them, how you lock them up, where you keep them, who has access to them and everything. So we preach that heavily in every single class and training that we do. So hopefully, y'all are able to adhere to that and consider that and, maybe come see us.
And so switching bases a little bit, moving into some positive things about gun ownership, about gun culture in general. What would you say are some positive aspects that you have seen or that you can tell the viewers?
I would say training, number one, because initially before it blew up in the news and how everybody saw this pandemonium or whatever about guns and them not being safe and all these things, they were teaching children gun safety in schools long ago. Well, not that long ago, as a matter of fact. The 50s and stuff wasn't that long ago, but it was going on then. And then also, just even what we're doing. And then there's other people that are doing what we're doing as well. There are other people that are out there that are spreading, the same message that we're spreading and trying to create a good environment for the youth, women, men, and just anyone who's interested as far as wanting to get into firearms. You may not even per se want to own a whole bunch of them, or you may even own one, or whatever the case may be, but you want to know the right way to own it, carry it, have it, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So on the positive end, we have seen a lot of people come to us and say, I want the training. I want to learn this. I want to better myself. I see a lot of people carrying them and all these different things, and I just wanted to do it the right way, Mr. Brandon and Taylor. Miss Taylor. That's what they told us, at least. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
what
would
would you say?
agree. I would agree with that. I think, you know, being a responsible, there is a special blessing and sort of a camaraderie in being a responsibly armed citizen, right? I mean, we definitely look out for each other. If somebody knows that you're always carrying, they feel safer around you.
Yeah.
They come and ask you questions. They want to know what you know. And I think, again, it starts with that education. It starts with that training, because a gun is nothing more than a tool, is what we always say. It's how you use it. So there's a lot of positives. And I think that everybody, in my opinion, everybody should be armed, legally armed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's, again, families, youth, everybody, it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. Shooting at the range with your family. We need more of that.
Yeah. And the cool thing, a cool positive, even with what Taylor and myself do, we have a women's class that we do, and Taylor, she's the one that teaches it, and I'm the second, co-instructor behind her. But a lot of women need to learn this. A lot of women need to understand how to defend themselves. Most of you all are single. Most of you all are single moms. Most of you all are caregivers for somebody. So you want to be able to defend yourself in the event if that happens. Or you work out or whatever the case is. But we don't preach going by yourself. We rather you do the buddy system and go with friends and things of that nature. So that way you don't end up in a situation. But if you are faced with that, you at least have the right tools, the right education, the right methods to be able to defend yourself.
Right. I mean, for women, it's especially important. We take, that very seriously because, again, women can be a victim. So having a firearm it's something that will equalize the situation if, you ever were to need it. That's what it's there for. If it's something, a life and death situation where you need to be able to, if it's between your life and the life of the perpetrator, choose your own life. Unfortunately, it's sad to have to make that choice. I know a lot of women get very emotional about that, and I've never been in that situation, but I thank God that I'm educated and it's becoming a part of my muscle memory in the event I have to protect myself, my children, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And it is a scary thing, y'all, if you do have to get put in that position to have a justifying of taking a person's life. But look at it this way. If it's somebody who's really doing some harm and you really need to defend yourself, and that means that you're still going to be around to be around your family and everything, I would want to be on that side versus being on the side where somebody causes me harm and then I'm not here. A positive that I've seen, with a lot of men, they're getting licensed. They're wanting to come get the training. It's not too much pride going around as much. Still a little bit here and there, but for the most part, people are coming and wanting to get trained. And then also the youth falls into that because when you have me being a father, right? I'm showing my sons and my daughter these things. And you see these parents, these dads who are bringing their sons and daughters and stuff to us, and they want them to learn it too. So that's a positive. That's a good positive because we want to be able to shape the culture and change the narrative on a lot of things. So it is a lot of good things going on
Right. There's
in
a
the
lot
gun
of good
community and
things.
everything that we're doing. So,
And, something we say in every class is everybody, if you are a home that has a firearm, everybody in the home who is able needs to know how to use
yeah.
that firearm.
So another key
And
moment as far as gun culture is concerned would be when the Heller versus District of Columbia decision came down in 2008, where basically it helped us all to have the right to be able to carry a firearm as an individual and not necessarily be a part of a militia or a group to defend yourself if something were to happen to you, your family, or anything of that nature. So that was a key moment. And then also during that same time in 2008, that's when I became a licensed carry holder coming off of a prior year in 2007. So, months before my birthday, I almost went to jail for carrying a firearm unlawfully. And the judges, they dropped the charges on me. So I was able to, of course, get my license to carry. And I've been doing it ever since 2008. So I really take proud ownership in that. But those are that was a key pivotal moment as far as the Second Amendment is concerned. And, and that's cool kind of how that happened around the same time when I hit 21.
yeah, so it's very important, go look that up, go read up on some laws. It's very important to stay current with what's going on because the laws do change. I mean,
Yeah.
From 2008, everything before that, it was a completely different precedent. So that was a key decision that happened. Many people don't know about it, and it's important to educate yourself. And so that's where we come in. We talk about the laws, which many of them are specific to your state. Again, we're here in the Lone Star State, so wonderful, wonderful place. Very friendly towards gun owners, but you have to know your law because you can think that you're doing something right, defending your home, for example, with a break-in, but there are certain criteria that must be met. So if you want that information, come and see us, take a class with us. We'll go over all of that.
And then also to throw a story in there. So at the time that you see this video on this Sunday evening when it comes out, so about a week ago from this time, there was an incident down at River Center Mall or the shops at River Center or something that to that nature where a father and a son had to use their firearm to fend off some robbers who were robbing them. And those robbers had firearms too. So had the tables been turned or if the father and son didn't have the means to defend themselves, then we could be looking at a news story where we have a casualty and the father and son didn't make it home. But luckily they had theirs. Don't know if they had the license to carry anything of that nature or not, but nonetheless, for the most part, with Texas being a constitutional carry state and you know, and being able to have to exercise the right to have the license to carry, either way, you can have the firearm to defend yourself. And, all the other different laws that play into it, as far as Texas goes, but that was a good thing.
Yeah, it could have went a different way. And so there you hear stories all the time about somebody defending justifiably. So we always recommend for you to get your license, even though it's in Texas, it's not required, but definitely we recommend that. You see a break-in or something, somebody defends themselves. You're still liable civilly. The family of that perpetrator could come and say, oh, well, that was our breadwinner. You killed him. And so now we're suing you.
Yeah.
So those are all different things that we discuss in class.
Good.
And we're here to help you. We're here to educate everybody, to help train you, get you up to speed. You have to come out and see us. We would love everybody in this San Antonio area to come on out. We want to see you guys in class. And we are ready for you whenever you are.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please follow us on all social platforms and let us know what it is you want us to talk about. We're still getting used to this content creating, and we want to bring people on board to chat with us, talk with us, come shoot with us, and all of those different things. So just follow our journey and hopefully we'll make a lot of friends along the way.
So again, that's allmysonsselfdefense.training. We hope to hear from you guys soon.
Peace.